what's up? This is Sarah Johnson here again with a fantastic message for you today. And it has to do with self-esteem. Most specifically, I will today talk about 5 different tips that you can use to build self-esteem. So 5 tips on building self-esteem. So you may ask the question, well, why is self-esteem so important? It is very, very important because the thing is, self-esteem has to do with how we see ourselves, the judgments we make of ourselves, the self-image, the pictures that we hold in our minds about ourselves, past errors that we've made or mistakes that we've made that we're still clinging on to. Those factors, they all affect self-esteem. And having a low self-esteem will keep us in a bind. It keeps us in a box. It keeps us living very low quality lives, because when we have low self-esteem, it can lead to depression. It can lead to all sort of ailments. It can lead to procrastination, us not compiling goals, us even if we have goals, we don't write them down, number one. Number two, we don't take the necessary steps that would lead us closer to realizing our goals. So self-esteem is not a very crazy topic. It really is very important because it touches every aspect, every crevice of your life. So it affects your health, your relationship, the way you treat people, the way you treat yourself. I mean, think of like people who are addicted to different drugs, to anger, to different substances. It's because they hold a very narrow image of themselves, a very disempowering image of themselves. So the tips today that I'm going to share with you will help you to upgrade. So all of us, no matter what you say, all of us can use an extra boost of self-esteem. All of us can use that, especially for me. I could tell you a little bit about my life. I remember growing up into adulthood, I had very, very low self-esteem. And a lot of it had to do with prior to the age of 7. I'm pretty sure you've heard a part of my story before where growing up, I never felt love. Especially, to the age of 11, I never felt love. My mother, I never knew my mother. When I was 16, 17, I had only seen my mother twice in my entire life that I had any recollection of. My mother and father had me when they were very young, 17 and 18 years old. They didn't have jobs. They weren't really in a position to take care of me. But my father felt like he was in a better position. My mother had another child from someone else, and just me coming into existence was causing a lot of tension in her life. So she really couldn't focus her attention on me. So my father went to the courts in Jamaica and subpoenaed my mother to court so that he could get custody of me. So the courts granted him custody of me. At that time, I was one year old, and I started living with my father and his family. Well, needless to say, I never saw my mother. I never heard about her. I never heard anything positive about her. My father never said anything positive or negative about her. He never brought her up. But I had little cousins and aunts that would always say, well, your mother didn't want you. And because it was somewhat atypical for a girl to not live with her mother. It's very rare that I see, girls that grow up with their fathers. And I fell into that category. So I was like, wow, well, she's not in my life. And, so I started believing what people were saying, that my mother didn't want me. She didn't love me. But little did I know, she just wasn't in a position to take care of me. And my father was in a better position to take care of me. So I went through life thinking, oh, I'm not lovable, and it just tarnished my self-esteem. So one thing that you can do, the first thing that you can do, my first tip on building self-esteem is to keep a journal. Your journal that you write down. So take a couple minutes each night and write down 5 things that you like about yourself. So you want to look, you don't want to just focus on accomplishments and, I got a PhD in this or whatever. The president of this company. You want to focus on different intrinsic abilities, your ability to love, the way you interface with people, your ability to forgive. I know in my journal yesterday, I wrote down, because sometimes I have a tendency to yell at my kids. So I've been making a conscious effort to be very conscious of what I say, not really what I say, but how I say it, and the tonality in my voice and the tone of my voice. So I was dealing with my 3-year-old yesterday, and I was very proud of myself the way I, dealt with him. So I wrote that down, because oftentimes we focus on the things that aren't going good, but when we focus on the things that we like, then other things will show up in our lives for us to like. The second thing is to just look for the good in other people. So whenever you start to think about judgments about this person think they're all bad, my ex-husband he's a deadbeat or whatever, just try to compare yourself to that person and think about what aspect of myself is also present in that person, and vice versa. And it leads to having more compassion for people, and you focus on how we are similar as opposed to how we're different. And this method can be applied to your spouse, because sometimes we focus on what they're not doing. They didn't pick up the clothes, they didn't help me with the laundry, they didn't say hi to me when they came home. But look at all the other things that they're doing. Are they helping you with the kids? The bills are being paid. Just look at those things and say, wow, look at, how are we similar? The next thing that you can do is find ways to help to boost people's spirit. Find ways to help people out throughout the day. Help them to see the best in themselves. I remember recently at my job, I was talking to one of my colleagues who works in a different department, and he was telling me how he was having a bad day and he felt, undervalued in his position because he works more in a call center setup. And I could really see where he was coming from. But then I told him, I was like, look at the very positive features that exist in your life. Look at the fact that you're able to hone a skill that many of us will envy. Just having good customer service skills, that's good. And if someone has worked there for 4 years, I'm pretty sure they're doing a good job dealing with people, knowing how to be patient and to help people to navigate through their problems or challenges that they're having with whatever product or service that you're offering. So that's an invaluable skill that many people are lacking. So, after I talked to him, he went back to his desk and he emailed me and was like, Sarah, I am so thankful for the conversation that we had. And it made me feel good that I was able to be impactful in his life in that moment, help him to see things in a different light. The next thing is, dress up, put nice clothes on, don't wait for, anniversary or the Christmas party for you to put on nice clothes. It's not that expensive to go out and buy nice things, especially for women. I can't say that for guys, but especially for women, clothes, you can get nice things for relatively inexpensive price. And the thing is, when you put on something nice and you put on, if you wear makeup or earrings, you stand up, you're more straight, not stiff and shoulders are slumped. You're more confident about yourself when you feel like you look good, you feel good about yourself. So get that nice perfume, that nice scent, and then also people will start giving you compliments, and you thank you left and right. Thank you. You get those compliments, and you embrace those compliments. Don't try to deflect them and like, oh, Oh, it's nothing. Don't do that. Embrace and welcome compliments in your life. The last tip is to be forgiven. Just have forgiveness. I've heard a great adage that says that all forgiveness is self-forgiveness. The thing is that we hold on to resentment and anger, because for a long time I held on to so much anger at my mother, not knowing, it's like, how can a woman abandon her child? How is it that a woman will allow a man to take custody of her kid? And at the end of the day, it's not just her kid. I'm also my father's kid. But what I knew in my heart, even though I wasn't focused on it, is the fact that my father was able to give me a better life, a better quality of life. So everything, sometimes when things are happening, we don't see the gift in the situation. But in every challenges, every hiccups we encounter in life, there's always that gift. So I made a decision after many, many years of self being pitied and, oh, my mother didn't love me and she's the reason why I act like this. I started embracing her. And look, being thankful for the fact that she gave birth to me. She was the vessel that was used for me to come into this life experience. Without her, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here, not in this body at least. So be forgiven. Don't hold on to resentment, because we think that resentment is going to bother somebody else and it's supposed to make that person mad. It really affects our health, our state of mind. It affects every aspect of our life. It keeps our self-esteem very, very low. So forgiveness is such a powerful thing that you can use. And I've done some other videos on a forgiveness policy process that you can use to employ in, going from being unforgiven to forgiven. It's just a process, a 3-step process that you can begin to use to really look at areas in your life where you're holding on to anger and resentment. So there you have it. Those are my tips that will help you in boosting self-esteem, help in increasing self-esteem, help in building self-esteem. Because at the end of the day, no matter where we are in life, we can shift our life. It doesn't matter if we're, our houses have been foreclosed upon, our cars have been repoed, you're jobless, your man just left you, your kid is being crazy with you, whatever the case may be. We have the ability to shift our lives, but we have to make that decision to do the work. And the work is, doing what it takes to up-level ourselves, up-level our consciousness, up-level our lives, up-level our self-esteem. So don't forget, if you're on my YouTube channel, subscribe to my channel, and I would love for you to spread the word. Leave me a message. What are your thoughts? What have you used to help to boost your self-esteem? Do you need additional help? We can talk. Leave me a comment. If you have other questions, leave me a comment. Subscribe to my channel, like, share, because we don't want to keep all this knowledge for ourselves. We want to share it with other people so that we're not the only one that's receiving that transformation. Other people can also benefit. So thank you for taking your time out and watching this video. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.